D.W. Field, who had served faithfully as Howard's accountant, was financed by Howard and started his own company. Field's men's shoe business was one of the largest in the world. Known today as FootJoy, it is the last operating shoe company in Brockton. Campello's brilliant Ezra Keith was the first manufacturer to introduce a 19th century version of a high-tech shoe. His Brockton and Raynham plants, along with the Gilmore factory in Raynham, where Blake and McKay conducted significant research for over 5 years, set the mid-19th century standards for boot and shoe producing for the entire industry. Their footwear products were the first to be totally created by mechanical processes. The vast corporation of George E. Keith Company opened the world's first group of foreign retail chain stores and led the way in shoe exporting. And in 1883, even Thomas Edison appeared on the scene. Quite understandably, he selected Brockton as a field research station to test, develop, and demonstrate several of his inventions. Accordingly, the shoe factory of Moses A. Packard became the first to become fully electrified. Packard adapted his steam-driven machinery to electric motor power, and he replaced all of his gas lights with Edison's new incandescent bulbs. And finally, one of Brockton's most charismatic 19th century figures was Plymouth-born Governor William L. Douglas, whose name, portrait, and $3 shoe advertisement, it is said, were once as internationally well known as the American flag itself. Among his numerous achievements, Douglas established the nation's first Board of Conciliation and Arbitration. His idea was called the Better Way. The famous justice, Louis Brandeis, later applied Douglas's plan and developed it into an effective tool that did much to stabilize Union conflicts. At the turn of the century, Cape Cod's Sidney Winslow was joined by Gordon McKay and Charles Goodyear to complete the elaborate task of consolidating over 100 diverse shoe machine operations under the auspices of one firm called the United Shoe Machinery Company. And with this single act, boot and shoe manufacturing became the most mechanized enterprise on the face of the earth. The most useful effect of Winslow's skilled management was that it brought an end to numerous unproductive patent battles that had begun to stifle progress. Production soared. Brockton's 15,000 workers in its 100 or more factories could now make dozens of pairs of shoes per person in a 9-hour day. During this dynamic period of immigration and economic growth, it was noted at the annual industrial expositions of the nationally famous Brockton Fair that every 5th man in the United States was wearing Brockton-made shoes, and then every 4th man, and so on. At 8 a.m. on March 20th, 1905, in the midst of the euphoria of the early 1900s, Brockton was struck by the worst tragedy ever to befall the shoe industry. The 4-story factory of the R.B. Grover Company, which employed some 500 workers, suddenly blew apart and immediately caught fire, killing 58 people. The initial cause of the disaster was an overheated boiler, which shot upward and ripped through supporting beams, causing the main structure to collapse. Escaping gas then quickly ignited the falling rubble, and the whole factory burned to the ground. Although the people of the South Shore and Greater Brockton District were profoundly